show. Let me come here to make sure. Yup. Yup, 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 yup. Yup, yup. Nope, we're live, bro. We're good.
We're both.
I'm waiting for us to pop up. All right, bro. Let me just open up Facebook just real quick to make sure that we are live.
Which one do I change the channel with? This one?
Yes. The other one's volume.
Cox?
We are live right there, bro. Yes. What channel you want? All right. What's good, peeps? Whiskey and wine. LSU got the shit kicked out of them tonight by Texas A&M, 20-7. All right, there we go. Oh boy, what you say?
Audio.
Jay?
Check
Cool.
audio. Let's see here.
We should be good, Doc.
Yep.
Make sure everybody can hear. Volume up. All right, volume up. Y'all should be good. People saying volume up. Our mics weren't on yet, so
Yeah.
we good? Volume good, everybody? Give us thumbs up here. Give us blue checks. We'll let this build a little bit. I'm gonna share all this stuff out there. Good. Volume's good, everybody. Get rolling here for whiskey and wine. This is gonna be lit, bro. I mean, LSU loses 20-7 to Texas A&M, and you know the craziest part about that? 20-7 don't look so bad. You know, on the road against a top 5 team with a young team, defense played well and all that. That was a gigantic ass kicking.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Big
all right,
game of keep away there.
bro. Why was Jimbo still throwing the football? What a fucking idiot. I mean, why wouldn't you just run the ball 60 with Spiller 60 times and get out of there?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Anyway. All right, I'm going to go ahead and redo the post here. You want to go ahead and get us started here while I hit this title thing?
Shout out to Don Juan Cigar Bar is where we should be. Phase 2 has us over at Moscona's house tonight. It's good to feel a little nostalgic.
How about that?
Going back for a little old school whiskey and wine tonight. But Don Juan Cigar Bar, David Richardson, who is a real estate agent and a contractor, he can get you into a house today over at Willow Grove Estate over there off Perkins Road. And then, of course, Citizens Bank and Trust, one of the longest trusted names in banking here in South Louisiana, originated in Plaquemine a long time ago. They're going through a renovation and an upgrade over on Jefferson Highway. They have been the backbone and the stability to so many local companies here in the Baton Rouge area. We've got just like we do all the time with Citizens Bank, we've got a great giveaway that we'll either do tonight or sometime on AFR or OTB. But LSU gets rolled up tonight, as Moscona said. The score 20-7 is not indicative to how bad it really was, and it was not that close. LSU had a couple of opportunities. They had a touchdown taken off the board, which was really that's one of the worst calls I have seen that has gone to a review. That it was originally called a touchdown. It goes to review. There's not overwhelming evidence when you look at the replay to say that it should be overturned. They take points off the board there. The next pass is an interception, and it just never felt like LSU had any shot of being a threat at any point. The offensive line is terrible. The offensive line is Jerry DiNardo, Curly Hallman bad. I mean, like, it is and what's more of an indictment is that you've only got one committed player in this class that is very, very good. It's very healthy. It's got playmakers everywhere. It's a very talented class. But as far as areas of need, you need 25 offensive linemen. I mean, they need to sign as many offensive linemen as possible because they ain't got one in sight. I mean, I don't TJ, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. TJ Finley, Max Johnson, Joe Burrow.
Jesus fucking Christ could have played quarterback tonight, unless if he was willing to levitate around the fucking defense, nobody was fucking getting a pass off tonight.
Audio's good.
Good. Great. Fucking wonderful. Glad to hear that fucking shit. I'm almost done. I'm trying to do all this, trying to get all this stuff.
The Bama game has been rescheduled. That will be 1 week from tonight. That will be live a week from tonight. If you saw Alabama today in the Iron Bowl, they destroyed Auburn, and looks like it'll probably be some of the same. Some of the positives tonight would have to be the defense, and just from where they have been and where they have originated this season to where they were tonight. You know, I thought there were some high points. Obviously, Derek Stingley Jr. Makes a huge difference when he is right and when he's in the lineup.
He's a stud, bro.
He is a stud. I don't know why. I don't know why they kept going at him.
Bro.
But for whatever reason, yeah. Go ahead.
All right, y'all hit the share.
Go ahead.
Y'all hit the share and all that shit. One more share on my end, and then I will be officially ready to roll and light this shit on fire. Dairy farmers.
Okay.
Fuck a dairy farmer.
Fucking dairy farmer.
I mean, if you're a dairy farmer, though, much respect. I'm sorry. I'm in a fucking mood tonight, bro. So I got a pop-up ad. It says fucking.
Anybody who steps in front of it's getting trucked tonight, bro. Doesn't matter if you're a DB or a dairy farmer. You're getting fucked up.
Oh, God. Hold on. I'm trying to. Oh, shit.
What time's the, where's the Hawaii game at?
Oh, you asking me?
I wish the Tyson fight was on.
It's pay-per-view.
I know.
Y'all be patient. I'm sorry. I'm coming. I'm sharing all these links and all this shit so we can get rolling. All right. All right, there we go. All right. Joe Rod, what did he say? All right. All right, everybody good on. All right, we're done. All right, here we go. Here you go, bro. I'm sorry. My bad. Being an inhospitable host there. All right, y'all, here we go. Thank y'all for watching. LSU loses 20-7. Y'all know the drill. Raise your glass, if you would. Toast with us. Cheers. Cheers to everybody. A crappy night for the Tigers. Disappointed to hear that, but the fantastic news is, look, we got a 2-camera setup. How about that? Yeah. The one benefit of me having to do my radio show from home for a week was learning all this shit. Got to learn this whole setup.
A little sound checks for us.
Yeah, we good? I think we're good on audio and everything. So, all right, y'all. So, LSU loses 20-7. Absolutely heinous. Y'all do us a favor, hit the share if you haven't done so yet. Like and share. We'll give y'all shout-outs as we go throughout. Overall, miserable performance for LSU's offensive line. If there's one silver lining, I thought the defense played their ass off. And they have been much maligned, and rightfully so. Absolutely. They have deserved every bit of criticism they've gotten from me and everybody else. The defense has been atrocious, all-time bad to start the season. But today they went on the road and they handcuffed Kellen Mond. They did, except for 2 long runs, I thought a very nice job on Isaiah Spiller. I thought overall that was a very encouraging.
On the tight end. I thought the plan on the tight end was fantastic.
A very encouraging night. A very encouraging night by the LSU defense. Hold on, someone's saying they can't see my face. I'm covered by an icon. What icon am I covered by? Did they put like a fucking whiskey and wine icon on here? And now let's see. Is that good? Well, I can see me right.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, we good? That's Erica. What's she talking about? She's crazy, bro. Oh, maybe it's on the other camera shot. Whatever. All right. John David Graham, what's up? Jeffrey Parker, what up? Now everyone wants to fire O. Y'all loved him last year. LOL. Hey, Jeffrey Parker, what you done for me lately, bro? You know, we'll talk about that. All right, let's talk about this game first, man. Fucking like this shit. We'll roll.
I'm with you on the defense. I mean, if we're starting on positives, the defense was very positive. Micah Baskerville. I mean, it took you 6 games to figure out that cat was the best linebacker you had. I mean, he is flying all over the place. Finally, they come out and play with a little attitude. We mentioned Stingley. Stingley's a difference maker when he's right and he's playing good, man. I mean, he's so good. So I mean, the defense was definitely a bright spot today. I don't know whether it's Insminger. I don't know whether it's Linehan. I don't know whether it's Insminger and Linehan working together. But there is a disconnect with the play calling and just the lack of creativity. Now, let there be a caveat, and let me say and preface it by this. That offensive line play, there's not a lot you can really do if you're going to be that shitty up front and you can't move the line of scrimmage, so you can't run the ball, you can't throw the ball every time the quarterback turns around, you got people in your face. But I'm just saying, there's got to be a game plan every week, whether it's within the first 15 or whether it's scripted plays, that Eric Gilbert and Terrace Marshall have got to be force-fed the ball. Whether they just got to catch it in the screen, whether you got to take shots down the field, because – when they touch the ball, good things happen. And when you get beat 20-7, you can look at the stats and see that they were forgotten about for nearly 3 quarters, and then they start to touch it towards the end of the game, and what happens? You score. Marshall scores in that drive. They feed it to Marshall. Gilbert makes just a man of a catch, a beast of a run. I mean, those are 2 guys that are your 2 best players on a team that can't find playmakers. Those guys are there every Saturday. For whatever reason, LSU cannot get them the ball consistently. That's the type of things that break you out of an offensive funk, right? I mean, it's kind of like this. The basketball, what I always say, I always go to basketball stuff. When you need a basket and shit's bad, like back in 06, get it to Big Baby. You know what I mean? Like, just get it to your best player and let them make plays. Terrace Marshall, Eric Gilbert, there is no excuse for those guys to be held out of the game plan, forgotten about in a game like tonight where you can't get anything going, and when they touch the ball, good things happen.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
It didn't matter who the fuck you tried to throw the ball to tonight. Yeah. You tell me one fucking time when you knew what the goddamn play call was tonight. Every time TJ Finley or Max Johnson dropped back to throw a pass tonight, they had a guy in maroon up their asshole.
Like I said.
I mean, you want to talk about that? First of all, Terrace Marshall had 10 for 134 tonight. Gilbert had 3 for 25. On the pick 6 that Finley threw, he was trying to throw it to Gilbert. I can't tell you how many times I saw passes intended for 6 and for 2 and for everybody else where they're contorting their body in midair trying to adjust to a football because it's wild, because either – Finley or Johnson throwing the ball are getting crushed as they're throwing.
Why did he
line
Finley up? Did Finley change the play?
Ogeron?
Yeah.
Because he threw the ball. He just threw the pick 6. I mean, I'm sure he's telling him to just eat it there because you're in a 13-0 ball game at that point. You're still in it. It's a 2-score game. But, bro, I'll tell you straight up, I'd want to go back and watch that because I can't tell if Finley got hit and then threw it, like was trying to force the throw after he got hit, or if he's getting hit as he's throwing, because he's throwing to Gilbert.
No, he's getting hit as he throws it.
He's hit on his low. He's getting cut in half.
That's why I didn't understand why. I mean, because he lit him up. And I
pulled him out of the game.
I understand it was the pick. I mean, I understand that he threw a pick, but it kind of looked like he lit him up to a point where I didn't know if he changed the play, if he had audibled out of something, because, I mean, he got hit while he was making a throw to Terrace Marshall. I'll live with that.
Yeah, bro.
You know, I mean, behind that offensive line, I mean, he's got to be timid and shaken as a true freshman on the road, knowing every time I step away from the center in a shotgun formation, I got people in my face. I mean, the fact that they have one offensive lineman committed to this class, I would blow that class up on Monday, and I would call all of the offensive linemen that are on LSU's board and say, what do you have to do to secure a commitment before the early signing period and build this class around the offensive line? Like, you want playing time? Do you want to play at a Division I level, Tristan Lee? Do you want to?
How is he not committed already?
I mean, kid's
been here 10 times.
People within the program say he's silently committed. Okay, that's fine. He better be,
bro.
He better be, because if he's watching this trash tonight and doesn't think to himself, I can't play at LSU, you don't want him.
How about your boy last week, Taylor Zarzar, the guy who was on the call last week for the Arkansas game, how about your boy saying, LSU's got Dare Rosenthal back, one of the best left tackles in college football?
Huh?
I'm like, are you high?
Huh?
Have you not watched a snap of football? The play on the pick
Best
six,
left tackle on the team.
dude. The play on the pick six, Dare Rosenthal olays his defender, and that's what gets Finley crushed. I'm like, man, look, I'm gonna tell you what. This entire coaching staff, and we've shit on Bo Pelini, and he deserves it because he's done an awful job. Tonight his defense played well. They had a good scheme. They relied on their elite corners because, hey, look, we talked about this week. A&M, their best receiver, Jamin Osborne, opted out. The guy who was their leading receiver tore an ACL earlier this year. They don't have great guys on the outside. LSU had better talent, could win on the outside with their defensive backs. And so they said, hey, man, we think we can win that matchup and make Mond beat us. He couldn't. Kellen Mond couldn't beat LSU secondary. All right, cool. You got Derek Stingley. There's no one that could beat it. I get all that. But aside from that, Bo Pelini's been cat shit this year. This whole coaching staff has been terrible. What is Kevin Falk doing with the running back rotation? Like, how can do you realize Antoine Sampa was in there and had a carry tonight? Like, on one play, remember when LSU, they downed the ball to two?
Antoine Sampa had a carry?
Bro, they ruled, that's what the official fucking scorer for the game gave Antoine Sampa a carry tonight.
What?
Unless it's someone I don't know. Anyway, at 34. Anyway, when it was the play when A&M downed the punt at the 2-yard line, LSU, on that drive, they go Ty Davis-Price, Johnson scrambles, they got 3rd and 6, and they throw it short to Gilbert. But, bro, they got 27 in the game. Who? You know what I'm talking about? The running back who was the walk-on?
the walk-on from Houston?
That fucker was in the game right there. You get the ball at the 6-yard line. Why is that guy flexed out at receiver? Are you kidding? Like, my point is, James Craig, he's been awful this year. I think he's been probably the biggest disappointment on LSU's coaching staff as far as development. My point is, LSU's not developing any of these players, man. Like, you want to talk about offensive line. Here's my problem with offensive line. Cardell Thomas was a 5-star. Kid can't get on the field. Anthony Bradford, before the season, Ogeron sits here and tells us he's the best offensive lineman they got. He stinks. He can't even get on. Why can't he get on the field? What are we like? You have the 2 freshmen, Hill and Martinez, and then you've got guys like Deculus, bro. Doomerville. Deculus has been hanging around like for 4 years. Started 40 games. He's fucking matador on the right side of the line. Like, where's the development of these players? Jason Hines couldn't block anybody tonight. The only guy who looked competent was 70. Ed Ingram actually got into some people and pushed some dudes around. Other than that, man, who on the offensive line has played worth a shit?
That's what I'm saying. I can't find.
That's why I point at these coaches. I'm like, Jordy, you said, look, you got to go recruit. I'm with you. If the guys you have aren't good enough, you got to go get guys. But you got to develop these guys, man.
True.
You got to develop, and you're not developing shit.
That is true. I mean, and they have a laundry list of examples to look at on the offensive line of guys that you're wondering they should be up. They should be playing. Bro. I mean, even a guy like Cam Wire. I mean, like, to think where he was – he was a 4-star offensive tackle. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he was some preferred walk-on from East Ascension. You know what I mean? It's you've got guys that you're going out that you're seeking – you're analyzing, you're going out and recruiting, offering scholarships to.
Bro.
They're in the 3rd year of their cycle, and they can't block me.
I know, bro.
I mean, it's
Glenn Warner, Stephen Miller, Nicholas Lemoyne, Marquise Robinson, what's up, Jacob Hibbard, Dylan Landry, Scott Duvall, Aaron Gailey. We appreciate y'all watching, man. Y'all keep the comments coming. We appreciate y'all. Brandon Atchison, Brady Munoz leave, and the offense looks like this. But here's my point with that, man. And you were alluding to it earlier. I don't want to give Ensminger and Linehan a pass tonight on the game plan. But, Jordy, I don't know what the fucking game plan was, man. Like, I don't know at any point. There was one play, bro. There was one play where I remember seeing Finley with a clean pocket where he stepped into a throw, and it was his first pass of the 3rd quarter, where he hit Jeray Jenkins for like 26 yards. It was the 2nd drive. You know what I'm talking about? He hit Jeray Jenkins.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Fake, stepped up, boom, on the left side, cut up the sideline, 26 yards. Like, that was the only time all day it felt like Finley could stand tall and get into a throw. And
I kind of like the way they started. I mean, I mentioned it the first third down. If Coy Moore doesn't fall down a yard before, and I love the fact that they get up to the line of scrimmage and go for it on fourth down.
Ask what you thought about
I thought that was going to instill some confidence, but you can't move them a yard. You know, I mean, you got to get a yard. I mean, the tempo looked great getting on the line, getting lined up. That looked very organized. Then they get to the line of scrimmage, and, you know, I mean, you got to get 1 yard, and they shove you back. I mean, it's just, you know, I mean, you got to make the plays when you have the chances to, and LSU just, I don't know, man. They just don't make plays.
We're going to come to a lot of y'all's comments and shit, so thank you for being here with us as always. If you're on Facebook, share it. If you're on YouTube, share it to Twitter, Facebook, all that shit. Share this out there. We appreciate y'all watching. We're going to get to a lot of your comments and all that shit. Let's go through kind of the game first. Well, not first. Shit, we've been here 20 minutes already. Let's go through the game, and then we'll get to some more of the reaction.
How many times did Von Rosenberg punt it? 11?
Zach Von Rosenberg on the night. Let's see. He punted 11 times, average of 40.2 yards.
Wow.
By the way, how about Von Rosenberg?
442 yards of punts tonight.
On his second punt, though, how about him getting rushed and having a roll left and get that punt off?
Hell of an athletic play.
Bro, my point is, like, LSU's line couldn't block shit all night, even on special teams. Fuck, dude. And then you got Cade York missing inside of 40 for the first time in his career. We are going to get to the sequence.
A shitty time to miss, too.
We're going to get to the sequence that everyone wants to talk about, which was the touchdown coming up, because that really changed the game. So LSU, A&M gets the ball. LSU forced a 3-and-out to start the game. LSU gets the ball. Mentioned LSU went for it on fourth down there. Didn't get it. You like the call to go for it. I had no problem going for it.
Yeah, I got no problem for
All
it.
right.
No problem.
They gave it to Ty Davis Price. He came up short. Maybe not a great play call, but whatever. So A&M gets the ball back there. They called PI on Flott on that play. Actually, you had Mon had the 26-yard run, and then Stevens hit him out of bounds. They called Stevens for the 15-yarder. So in one play, they're deep in LSU territory after LSU went for it and didn't get on the fourth. And then is when they called Flott for the PI, which I thought was total bullshit.
Yep.
They were both fighting for the ball. It was a little overthrown, went up. Anyway, so now they got the ball deep in LSU territory. But, bro, LSU came up with a huge stop there, man, forced the 42-yard field goal. Like, that, I thought defensively that's where they set the tone. Like, that they were able to come up big in that moment and keep A&M out of the end zone. LSU gets the ball back. That's when the Von Rosenberg punt was almost blocked. LSU forces a 3-and-out, bro. Like, they get the ball. Like, they're hanging in there. But LSU goes 3-and-out, and that was sort of the story of the half. The next possession, LSU gets the stop, and that's when A&M down to LSU on the 2, and they put Max Johnson in. What did you think about him putting Max Johnson in right there? Finley had 3 possessions, and LSU only had the 1 first down on the first possession. And then they went to Johnson. But they went to Johnson on their own 2-yard line.
Yeah, it was a tough place to turn to him, I thought. But, I mean, it looked like it was scripted where they told either Finley, look, you've got the first 3 series. Johnson, you're coming in after that. Or
You think?
I think so. I mean,
Or do you think they just want his mobility around the goal line?
Maybe.
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe. But we've been hearing throughout the weeks, whether it was press conferences on Monday, on OTBs on Tuesdays, where he'd say that both quarterbacks are in the game plan and that he wanted to play both of them. I thought tonight kind of felt like a 2-quarterback scripted game plan where you had both of them going in. You wanted to see both of them.
I would at least appreciate that explanation. Mm-hmm. And then, obviously, after Finley threw the pick 6, he was done. And it went to Johnson. But, all right, so LSU gets the ball on their own 2. They punt, and that's when Spiller scored in the 52-yarder on the first play. So now you're down 10-0. Bro, this is another thing, man. And this is when that wacky sequence happened. But LSU wasted a timeout. They had a 3rd and 9, and they burned a timeout before the play on 3rd and 9. Like, this is 2 weeks in a row now where LSU is wasting timeouts. Yep. They're wasting – this is also back-to-back weeks where they've called a timeout during a dead ball. Like
out
with
of
the
a timeout.
With the clock stopped.
Right.
You're calling a timeout with the clock stopped, meaning you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Absolutely.
When the clock is stopped and you're calling a timeout, and it's not to preserve a penalty, right? You're trying to prevent a penalty on a delay of game or something like that, or too many men on the field. It's you don't know what the fuck you're doing, so you need to call a timeout to get your shit together.
Like some Les Miles stuff.
That is some Les Miles shit, bro. It's back-to-back weeks, and it's driving me crazy. I'm like,
I know.
why? Doesn't Ogeron have a guy that's like his game management guy on the sideline or in the booth telling him what to do? Like
George Munoz.
that was Munoz last year. He don't have that guy this year?
It looks like Russ Callaway's the guy.
Well, fuck, Russ Callaway ain't doing his job then right now,
I mean,
if that's the case.
If I'm just judging on what I'm watching on TV, he looks like he's over Ogeron's shoulder. But, I'm with you. I mean, I think that those are the little things that are like huge red flags.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
But the reason that matters, Jordy, is like the hideous 2-minute sequence where both teams had 2 possessions in the 2 minute because nobody could get a fucking first down. Like,
how many times did they change possessions in the last 3 minutes?
that's what each team had 2 possessions in the 2 minute. There were 4 possessions in the final 2 minutes. Anyway, but that's when you don't have timeouts. It changes your like what you can call. You can spread out and call a fucking draw if you've got timeouts. You can do different shit. So anyway, after that punt is when this is where the crazy shit happened. Remember A&M? They get down there. They try the trick play. LSU blows it up. Jabril Cox comes up with a tackle for loss. It's 3rd and 16. And then they run the 15-yard play, and that's whenever they fumble. It's 4th and 1. Mon tries to reach it, fumbles. Beautiful fucking play.
By Damone Clark.
Beautiful play. LSU forces the fumble. They get the ball.
Man, I wanted to see a scoop and school.
First down, Marshall, 54 yards. Second down, touchdown, Kayshon Boutte. Okay, second down, touchdown, Kayshon Boutte. Now, here's where we got to have a real fucking conversation, all right? They go to review, and they take the touchdown off the board.
Well, first, the call is touchdown on the field.
Call is touchdown on the field. All right. Now, one thing that we learned last week against Arkansas, and we learned, and there was another game, it was Auburn. I was watching last week as well against Tennessee, because 18, the receiver from Auburn, the really good receiver.
Sammy, 18, your boy who dropped the touchdown
The
today.
touchdown today.
Yeah.
The really great receiver from Auburn.
Yeah.
He caught a ball last week against Tennessee, catch, foot down, when he lands, like foot down in the end zone, hits the pylon, and when he lands, he kind of rolls and loses the ball. Well, they ruled it incomplete because you have to possess it through the entirety of the catch. Seth Williams. So I learned that last week, okay? So I'm watching the Kayshon Boutte touchdown. He catches it, foot in, and he crosses the pylon in bounds, okay? I'm thinking touchdown. Now, when he falls, it looked like the ball maybe moved a little bit. Right? When he fell on his back.
That's why they call it incomplete, right?
But we didn't get that explanation. Like, all the asshole in the white hat said when he came out of review was...
It was overturned.
We have an incomplete pass. Like, I need more of an explanation. That is a game-altering... You are in a 10-0 ball game. That's about to make it 10-7. You're taking a touchdown off the board. I need more than... incomplete pass. I need an explanation, especially when we got Matt Austin in the fucking booth.
Right.
The ref is in, the rules expert in the booth is sitting there saying this is a touchdown. This is going to stand. And remember, your point is exactly right. Ruling on the field was touchdown, so there has to be indisputable evidence to overturn it. I got a rules expert telling me it's standing. And then the guy on the field is saying no touchdown. Well, that's not indisputable because the fucking rules expert's disputing it. Like, that is and listen, if the ball moved and that's the rule and you could see the ball moved and so it's not a touchdown, fine. If that's the legit rule call, fine. I need that explanation, and that's why the SEC officials, any official, have got to be made available after the game to talk to the media because they got to be held accountable because that is too big of a play. Dude, the whole complexion of this game changes if that touchdown stands. The whole complexion of everything we're watching changes. So, like, I got to have a better explanation than that, and that just altered the game completely, man. So after that, of course, is when the next play is when Finley throws the pass. It gets deflected and intercepted. So it's like now you've completely altered the entire shape of the ball game right there. And look, credit LSU defensively came up with a big stop after that. And, I thought defensively they played their ass off in the first half. For most of the game, I thought they played their ass off.
Absolutely did.
They give up the field goal before half, right there at the horn. But, bro, I mean, we could fucking sit here and talk about all the goddamn back and forth at the end of the first half where LSU has the ball at the A&M 45 and they miss a fucking field goal. I mean, it could have been 10-10 right there. Then A&M gets the ball, they punt, LSU punted, A&M punted, LSU went 3-and-out, punted, and then A&M gets the ball back, and they ultimately put together the field goal drive there to go up 13-0 at half. Mond was 8 of 25 for 77 yards at half. A&M was 2 of 10 on third down.
And he finished the game for 105 yards.
He sucks.
I mean, I'm telling you, tonight was the perfect scenario from a defensive standpoint to go beat Texas A&M. I mean, it is the story of 2020 for LSU. You've been so off balance all season where you get an okay performance from your offense, a dominant performance from your offense a couple of times against Missouri. They played over their skis. They played really well against Mississippi State, but they couldn't align that with a defensive effort. Tonight, you get a defensive effort, and the offense is nowhere to be found. I mean, the offensive line can't block anybody. It doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. They've got people in their face. The lack of creativity to get Terrace Marshall the ball or create opportunities. I know Arik Gilbert had 10 targets. But, a lot of that came at the end of the game. He's got to be worked into a flow. I'm talking about just catch the ball off of a shotgun and just throw it to him.
Yeah.
Put him in a slot. Just throw him the ball and just let him move. Do the same thing with Marshall. I mean, these guys are Sunday players on a team right now that are trying to find some passion on Saturdays. Those two guys can bail you out. I'm with you. I think that the coaching at all levels, from the head coach to the position coaches to the coordinators, they just look like they're all off base. They don't look like they're on the same page.
I'm looking at any notes I have in the second half. The muff punt on McLaughlin. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. You even have, who was it, Moore back returning punts tonight? You got Coy Moore running up, saying get away, get away. McLaughlin just sitting right there, hits him off the fucking chin. Great on the defense, though, man, because after that muff punt, they had a drop pass, a TFL, and then a sack on 3rd and 11. By the way, the sack, they went and reviewed because that's where Mon fumbled, and the offensive lineman picks it up and runs for the first down. How about this fucking officiating crew? How in the hell do you not see that in real time? That this man is swarmed by 3 defenders, he's on a knee, and I got to waste my time with you going to look at review because you can't see in real time this man is on a fucking knee.
Unreal. It's unreal. Like, I was like sitting there saying, are they going to have to review this? I mean, man, I know that the officiating is built on experience, but at some point you're going to have to start getting experience to younger, more athletic, just prime athlete type people. I mean, you got to have people out there that can run, keep up, and see and diagnose what's going on. The game is just too fast for what's happening out there and what those guys are asked to govern. I mean, it's just too quick.
They suck dick. Now, see, my face is covered by the live and the view when I'm on that camera. So we gotta stay on this shot here. So we'll stay here. Let's see. Glenn Warner, y'all should be smoking joints. Cigars are bad for your health.
Who says we're not?
Who knows? Let's see. Nicholas Lemoyne, Marquise Robinson, O-line suck for 4 quarters like they did against Auburn. Michael Sutherland, Phil Schmidt, what's up, y'all? Brandon Atchison, Brady and Munoz leave. The offense looks like this. You know where I would disagree with that, Brandon, is this offense was scoring 32 a game coming into tonight. And you know what the biggest disappointment of tonight is, man? And T-Bob and I were talking about this pregame. A&M's defense has been good except against elite teams. Bama scored 50 on them. Florida scored 40 on them. Even Arkansas put up 30 on this defense. Like, I thought LSU would be able to move the football tonight and score. And they were just terrible. They're just terrible.
Well,
they were just terrible offensively.
When you can't block, when you can't have any control of a line of scrimmage, and give protection to a quarterback or create a space or a crease for a running back, it doesn't matter. At any level, Matt. I mean, that is where you can be creative with all the offensive minds. You can go out and get 5-star quarterbacks and all.
Bro.
It don't matter if you can't block. And LSU right now cannot block. I mean, they made the cat Lala.
Yeah, 8.
They made that cat look like an All-American tonight. I mean, it's just they can't block anybody, and they've got no depth. You know, like a coach's worst nightmare is to have a unit or a player that can't perform and not have anybody behind him to push him, because now you're stuck.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the offensive line, when you go to the
exactly.
you go to the meeting tomorrow morning,
Who do you go
what
to?
are you going to say?
Who do you go to?
I mean, what are you going to say? I mean, you can't say next man up because it's obvious that there's no competition. So, I mean, that's why I'm telling you, for as talented as the 2021 recruiting class is, and it's stellar. It is stellar.
Yeah.
I'd blow that thing up tomorrow morning and call the 5 best offensive linemen on the board and say, we need a commitment today, and you play next year. You need to get into campus in December and start training for next season, because the lack of offensive linemen in the program right now, the roster management at LSU it's the bane of them. It could be the death of them. You can sign 4- and 5-star guys every year, but when you're playing with 65 guys and your opponent is playing on an average with 85 guys, it just isn't going to add up. At some point, it's going to bite you in the ass. And for you to have 22 commits for the class of 21 and only have 1 offensive lineman after seeing what you have, you got to look at your roster management and say, guys, we can go out and sign wide receivers, defensive backs, and linebackers all day. But if you can't protect and open up holes and get some protection on the offense, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. So, I mean.
Man, you know, one of the things I've complimented Ed on is roster management. I think where they've gone and seen where their holes are and they've addressed those needs. And I think that has been the case. For example, 2018, they went and got Cole Tracy and Joe Burrow and Terrence Alexander. You know, they had a need in those spots, and they went and found guys. This year, coming out of last year was evident, man. They needed a linebacker, and they needed an offensive lineman. They went and got Shanahan. They got Cox. I mean, they at least went and addressed those spots, you know. But the problem is, Jordy, like, I don't think numbers are the problem on the offensive line. I just ran through it, man. Like, you've got
it's evaluation.
It's evaluation and development is the problem. Like, we got to look at James Craig and say, are you really any good? I mean, you know, they won that fucking Joe Moore Award last year, man. I'll say this, and people ain't going to like me saying this,
Joe
but,
Burrow.
Bro, Joe Burrow and Clyde Edwards-Helaire erased so much from that offensive line. Think about the singular iconic play of life. What is
Texas,
the
3rd and 18?
3rd and 18, bro? The iconic play of last year. Was it 18 or 16? 3rd and 16?
3rd and 18.
3rd and 18, whatever it was.
Yeah.
3rd a fuck ton.
I think it was 3rd and 17.
And Joe Burrow, he steps up, moves to his left, off balance with a guy hanging on his leg, throws the ball to Jefferson.
And he gets hit?
And that's what I'm saying. He's got a guy hanging on his leg while he's making the throw. Like,
throws a dime.
Bro, that's, like, that offensive line wasn't shit.
Right.
I mean,
Damian
Lewis.
Think about the second Heisman play. Where he
Georgia?
rolls
Georgia.
out.
Georgia.
He's running from every defensive lineman.
Then Jefferson back across the field. Oh, by the way, kid who might be Rookie of the Year in the NFL. You know, one guy who was the front runner, one guy who might now be.
Right.
You know, like,
Right.
I mean, I just.
Coach, I mean, think about it. Think about what 2019 could be next year when we're doing a whiskey and wine. You could have an offensive play caller who's an NFL head coach.
Yeah.
You could have had the Rookie of the Year in the league if he doesn't get cut in half midway through the season because he's got me and you or the LSU offensive line blocking for him.
Fuck the Bengals.
in Cincinnati.
Too, man. Fuck the Bengals.
But you know what I mean?
Pieces
like
of shit.
You think about what 19 is.
Who
Justin Jefferson,
who didn't see
Patrick
that coming,
Queen,
right, bro?
You know what I mean? Just that
Clyde.
thing was a perfect storm of talent, play calling, coaching, everything coming together. So, you know, and the sin of it is that LSU was not able to benefit both on the fundraising circuit and really
so
from
true.
the, you know, just the
because
overall. I mean, like this, playing in front of packed houses, playing in front of,
17. It's third 17. Everybody, look at all the numbers.
I saw it.
17, 17,
I saw
17.
it.
You
Third
threw me off with the
17.
third and 18. Appreciate y'all watching, man. Murder Giraffe. Shout out to Murder Giraffe. Fuck Murder Giraffe.
Welcome.
Pegasus, Paul Pollard, Alex Russell. Coach O's more concerned with ass than winning now.
Those are the jokes you open yourself up to.
Listen, here's the problem with that, all right? I have no problem. I'm not here to talk about anybody's personal life, all right? Everybody's – and listen, every coach that's ever been at LSU that's single man or whatever, like, you go live that life, right? Toast of the town, cock of the walk, whatever. I'm not here to talk about anybody's personal life, all right? But when you take that picture voluntarily, you open yourself up to that. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, you could tell stories the same way I could tell stories about what you hear about whatever, right? But there's a big difference doing it privately and keeping your private life private and throwing that out there. So that's what you're going to open yourself up to, right or wrong. How about Reed DeSalvo? Dude, fuck this team, fuck the OC in D.C. and his huge head.
It looks bad. The optics are bad right now
With LSU football. I think when not only the on-the-field product and everything that's going on off the field, some of the jokes that we just made in the last 2 minutes, but just the optics, the feeling around the communication on the sideline, the body language, everything. I thought that was better tonight, but it still feels very fragile. LSU still feels like the opponent is one play away from LSU shutting it down, from LSU just checking out.
Yeah.
I thought that,
they played hard today.
If anything, that was a positive step in the right direction tonight, that they didn't quit.
Defense played hard.
And
the offense went and scored at the end of the game.
For as sad as that is to say, that's where they are. I mean, that's kind of where they've been. And that's a dark place for a football program, defending national champs or not, because I believe, and I agree with what a lot of people are saying, is that Orgeron has lost the locker room. He's lost the team. He's lost, and in that sense, at that position, in that chair, that means you've lost the program.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't have a voice and a presence in the locker room, then really, where are you efficient? Where are you dominant? Because that's the place where at least you have to be. You've got to be relevant. You've got to be powerful.
Jeb Whitley, how did O lose the team so badly?
I think it was a combination of things. I think that the social.
Hey, bro, if the stuff from this summer, undeniably,
light.
Yeah, light. Undeniably.
Yeah.
That was just.
Sure.
Hey, look, man.
Look.
In such a heightened social awareness time in our country, to go on Fox News and say you love the president, it's not going to be whether you do or don't. It's not going to be popular with your players and their families and some of the coaches on your staff. And I don't think what O said was malicious in any way. I just think you have to be smart enough to know not to do that interview. Why is the head football coach at LSU going on Fox News? I get it. Sandra Smith, this chick from LSU, I get it. But my guess is that's Derek pushing that. And you got to be smarter than that, bro. That's not a smart thing to do. Why is the head coach at LSU going on Fox News? I don't care what your politics are. I don't give a fuck about your politics or his politics. But when you do that, you can leave yourself open in that moment in our country, And then you had everything that happened with the player march. And, my only point is, I'm not here to fucking comment on any of that shit. My point is, don't think that isn't what's bled into this season. Players, coaches, staff, internally in the building, yet, all of that shit caused division from this summer. All of it. And it's lingered. 100% it's lingered.
100%. I mean, look, man, if you don't think that the community sees that stuff, sees the stuff on social media, so does the football team. And when the football team sees that stuff and they hear things that are being preached about the privacy of the locker room, the sanctity of the football team, the protection of all that stuff, that becomes to kind of fall on deaf ears.
Yeah.
When
one team,
when,
one heartbeat.
Yeah, all that stuff.
No,
When you start to
it's all
see
bullshit.
things in the public, so I think that there are dynamics to how he lost it. But I think when you watch the team play, and I think today was the first time all season that I've seen them compete and play with effort and energy for 60 minutes.
Thank God for Terrace Marshall speaking up last week.
You know?
I would bet you more than anything that was Terrace Marshall saying, I'm the only one out here who's got nothing to gain. Terrace Marshall, by playing this season, made himself a fuckload of money, right? Terrace Marshall thrust himself in the conversation as a first-round pick. Am I right? He's the guy who made the most money, has the least amount to play for. If anybody – look at Rashad Bateman from Minnesota, projected first-round pick, had opted out. Big Ten has a season. He opts back in because he thought Minnesota had a shot to do something. Minnesota sucks dick. He's opted out again. He's quit. He quit on his team. He's out because Minnesota ain't going to win shit, so he's just going to punt. Terrace Marshall could do that right now. He could walk right now. But instead, he stepped up and goes, I'm here. And he ain't a vocal guy. But last week, he got the team together and was like, I'm sticking around. Let's start playing. Not for them, not for play for us. Go to play to win because you got a standard. People who came before you have set this standard. Thank God he stepped up and said that. Otherwise, did they win at Arkansas? Maybe not.
Well, like we said, I mean, read between the lines of what Jabril Cox and what Liam Shanahan and even what Terrace Marshall was recapping, even what Coach Ogeron was recapping and what Terrace Marshall was addressing to the team. I mean, it was a message of, fellas, buy in.
Yeah.
Get back on board. This season is not over. Yeah. They have things to play for, and you're looking at the only first-round pick that is bona fide on this team.
Yeah.
Any other first-round pick's going to have to go prove it. Terrace Marshall is a top 15 pick tonight, today, before he goes and chops up Alabama next week. He's going to be the only player that can get open.
Yeah.
He's going to be the only player that makes any type of play one-on-one.
They're going to put Surtain on him, and that's going to be a hell of a battle.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
He's going to get Surtain sometimes.
Yeah.
And Surtain's going to get him.
You're right.
But that's two first-rounders going at each other. Yeah. Other than that, I can't think of a one-on-one matchup next week that LSU has a distinct. I mean, the Devontae Smith, Derek Stingley matchup is going to be great.
That'll be fun, yeah.
But the edge right now today is probably with Smith.
Yeah. Stingley was awesome today.
He was great. He was great.
Shout out to Don Juan Cigar Bar if you're just joining us. By the way, if you're just joining us, you're on Facebook, please hit the share. You don't have your sign?
That's what I was pissed off looking for earlier.
You don't even bring it?
No, it was not in the book. I don't know.
I need some
square, hit the like or share.
I need some fucking buy-in, Jordy. I need some fucking buy-in here on this season.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're normally Don Juan Cigar Bar, but because our pansy-ass governor moved us back into phase 2 because some people got the sniffles, they closed bars because apparently you can only contract COVID at bars. Anyway, fuck him. So Don Juan had to shut down today, and I think they might open up for us next week to be there, but it obviously is not going to be open to the public. But anyway, shout out to Don Juan Cigar Bar. The bar is obviously closed down, but the retail portion's still open in Town Center right next to Whole Foods. So you want to go stock your stash, you want to buy some Christmas gifts. They got great Black Friday specials going on right now as well through the weekend. So get on by Don Juan Cigar Bar. And tell them about David Richardson.
David Richardson is he's a one-stop shop, man. My guy is he's a contractor and he's a real estate agent. They've got beautiful pieces of property over at the Willow Grove settlement over on Perkins Road. In fact, there's a great piece of land that he's developing in the back of the neighborhood around a cool little private lake. If you want to know about it, you see the phone number right here, 413-3267. The Facebook is tied into the post as Moscona does every week with David Richardson. Make sure and give them a like, a follow there. But if you're looking to get into a home, you can shoot him a direct message right there on Facebook. And shout out to a lot of the people who are watching tonight. Emily Latino has got her crew hooked up on Whiskey and Wine, and she said that one of the crew says this is more entertaining than the game as they watch tonight. Shout out to you and the crew, Emily Latino. Cheers from the crew over here at Whiskey and Wine. Let's see who else has tweeted in to the show today. Sippin' at Brian Fike has tweeted in. He's watching alongside with Whiskey and Wine tonight. Adam Zander has tweeted in, cheers to Whiskey and Wine. Strong Side Sports Collections and Collectibles. C. Williams _32 has tweeted into Whiskey and Wine. So we always appreciate the interaction. Cheers to everybody who is watching tonight. Enjoy a great Saturday night. don't worry about what the Tigers put down over at Kyle Field. Enjoy a beautiful – going to be raining all day tomorrow, Scone. Got cold weather coming through.
Yeah.
So, don't let the Tigers discourage you.
And also, of course, shout out to our friends over at Citizens Bank and Trust. We
Absolutely.
appreciate
Jimmy
them.
P.
Jim Ferguson, they do awesome work, man. Small business banker, man. If you're a small business owner, you need a small business loan. Some of the best small business developments in Baton Rouge, man. Mid-City Beer Garden, Ichiban Square, some amazing Roca Pizzeria on Government Street. Citizens Bank and Trust, awesome people. They're linked in the Facebook post. Go like their page and give our friends over at Citizens Bank and Trust a shout. By the way,
and a huge upgrade coming to their Jefferson Highway, their headquarters here in Baton Rouge, their Jefferson Highway branch over there, right next to Backpacker. You're seeing the construction upgrade going on over there.
They Jimmy Perger gave us several of these hoppers. They're friggin' fire. I don't hunt or anything, but so the camo didn't really do me a lot of good trying to hide in the woods. But I love taking this thing when we go out, go to the beach, something like that. And we got a couple of these to give away. So do me a favor, give us a tweet. Here's what I want to do to win one of these tonight. Take a picture. Hold up your glass, bro. Take a picture.
Yep.
Take a screenshot of you holding up your glass, toasting with us. So get your camera out. Hold up your glass, toast with us. Take a picture of your screen, and then go tweet us. Tweet me, Jordy. Tweet at Citizens Bank. Tag them in there as well, and say how about I want the bag, or I want the ice chest, I want the hopper, something like that. Just say the pictures that we see with me, Jordy, Citizens Bank tagged in there.
Get the bag.
Get the bag. There it is. Get the bag. Hashtag get the bag, and you could win. We appreciate y'all. All right, let's get some more of these comments. Ryan Breedlove, no running game and drop passes. Don't help a young quarterback against any defense. Jesse Kyle, Robert Scott, what's up? Chiquita Amos, what's up? He rock over there. She died.
Rock.
She died if she got in the shot. Let's see. Cotrelis Kirk, what's up? Craig Dugas, better hope and pray Alabama doesn't come in raw.
Bama is bringing no lube. Believe me, they're coming here to fuck shop up.
After last year, bro?
I mean, we saw Christian Harris's dad in a whiskey and wine a couple of weeks back.
He was over at Don Juan,
and it was after the game had been called, and he just said they are counting down the days till they make that announcement when LSU and Bama are going to play again. They're coming in here pissed off. They're coming in here with 365 days plus.
That was after Auburn.
Bruh.
We were sitting there after Auburn when he came in, wearing his Alabama shit.
It was after Auburn. It was after the LSU.
He's like, hey, how y'all doing, guys? I was like, not as good as you. God damn.
Bro. I mean, every time I looked up today, they had a Baton Rouge kid making plays. Chris Allen was all over the field. He almost had his breakout game today.
Chris Allen
had his breakout game.
Dylan
Christian
Moses.
Harris was all over the
Devontae
field.
Smith.
Devontae Smith setting SEC records.
Slade Bolden.
Louisiana
kids all over the field, bro.
Oh.
Y'all hit the share, bro. If you haven't hit the share yet, do us a solid. Hit the share. We appreciate y'all. Louis Latil, Frank Bryan. What's up, y'all? Like and share. How about this one? Ashley Fabre. I don't know if it's Fabre or Fob. I know people who spell it that way or pronounce it differently, but said Johnson has to be the starter next weekend, right? You can see the field has the mentality and knowledge. Here, give me that. I got you.
I think both of those guys are still – I don't think that you can look at one and say, that's the guy. I mean –
Did Max Johnson do anything tonight where you went, oh, shit, he's the guy?
And
I'll tell you –
and in the same vein, I don't think that Finley did anything to lose it. I want to see his explanation on why he got in his ass after the pick six. Did he change the play? Because it can't be over – I mean –
throwing the ball? It's got to be.
I mean, I understand that it was a bad mistake, but I mean, shit, man, he's a rookie backed up in his own territory, and you're asking him to throw the ball behind a shitty offensive line.
He got hit as he was throwing, too. I'm with you, man. And this is the other thing. Like, let's make sure that we absolutely put this out there. Anybody who's going to say that this game was any different if Miles Brennan's playing, you're fucking nuts.
All right.
Like, I mean, Miles Brennan is a statue. Miles Brennan's the least mobile of the three of them, and Finley ain't mobile at all. Like, he would have been a sitting fucking duck tonight, just like Finley was. I mean, I'll tell you this, the only way that I would say, hey, maybe Johnson's the guy next week, the only way I'd say that Johnson's the guy next week is because with that defense, your quarterback's going to get killed behind that offensive line. So give me the guy that's more mobile. I might be more inclined to say, hey, go put Trey Palmer or somebody back there just to go run Wildcats. So you got somebody who can run around a little bit.
Palmer must be one of the ones because I hadn't seen him. He's not back on punt return. He's not out there in the wide receiver rotation. I mean, they've got Coy Moore back there returning punts. I hadn't seen 33, and he was a bright spot 2 weeks ago.
You know who has the past 2 weeks played well, started hot, lulled, has come on is Ali Gay. Ali Gay let me check his stat line. Ali Gay defensively has really started to play well.
Micah Baskerville's the one over the last 2 weeks.
No doubt. Baskerville has changed the defense. He's the only guy out there that is of the linebackers that is a see-ball, hit-ball guy. He'll step up and pop you. By the way, Baskerville
tonight gets there pissed off.
How about this? 12 tackles.
Coach.
1 tackle for loss and a forced fumble.
7 weeks it's taken. Like, that's the shit that gets me about this whole process.
Thank you. Why does Damone Clark have 18? Why does Damone Clark have 18?
That's good for Monday through Friday, but for a whiskey and wine show, like, it's taken you 7 weeks to figure out that Micah Baskerville is that player? After you can't get to the ball, you can't tackle, you got nobody, you hadn't had a linebacker in sight all season, you got 23 standing on the sidelines? Bruh, like that. See, like
you're gonna ask him that on Tuesday?
To me, yeah. but I asked him about Baskerville last Tuesday. But it was even like I asked him about the explanation, Scone, after the zone defense against Mississippi State.
Yeah,
you got 6 weeks,
and you can't.
You got 6 weeks.
You can't put in a
zone defense is Eli Ricks, stand in that area. Make sure nobody comes in that area. If they do, that's your guy.
You play quarters.
I mean,
you cut the field in quarters. Like we did that shit in high school. It's in 8th grade, man.
That's the stuff where you're
quarters
like,
coverage.
Wait, hang on. You've had Micah Baskerville the whole season? Yeah. What the fuck? Why had he been playing?
12 tackles tonight, bro. 12 tackles. Tackle for loss. Forced fumble.
How many did he have last week? He had to lead them last week.
I'm sure he did.
You know what I mean?
Flott had 8. They picked on Flott.
They were going at 25.
They went up because they didn't want to throw at 24. But Ali Gay, man, 4 tackles, tackle for loss. He is making his presence felt, man. Glenn Logan, I thought, had a nice game as well. Had a pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. 4 tackles tonight. I don't know, man. Stingley was awesome in coverage whenever they were stupid enough to go after him. Surprised they didn't go after Ricks at all tonight. He was mostly in the slot, but I thought Flott was the guy they went after, and I thought he played a good game tonight, man. As much maligned as his secondary has been the last 2 weeks. Now, obviously, last week the game changed when Stingley and Ricks were out, but for the most part, I think the last 2 weeks they played better. They gave up chunk plays last week, but other than that, I think they've been more consistent. Ricky Waldrop, Daryl Averett, what's up, y'all? Hit the share, 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 please, hit the share. Chuck Sanchez, Wes Shin. Why doesn't Stewart play at all? Who's Stewart?
Who? Stewart. I don't know who that is.
Oh, fuck. Who's Stewart?
I don't know who that is.
Wes Shin, are you high? The fuck is Stewart? Are we just stupid? He's talking about Cardell Thomas. I mean,
I was thinking Cardell Thomas.
Cordell Stewart, like Slash.
Thomas.
Do you think that's what he meant? Like Slash, Cordell Stewart, who played for the Steelers 100 years ago?
The first name that popped in my head was Cardell Thomas.
Yeah. Bubba Tatum, Neil Cotton, Haley, Ortego, Book, what up, Trivia Carter, Andrew Bienvenu. Hines looked really bad. He was confused all night. They were all bad. I mean, dude, I just don't know. Some of this is comments back from when you were talking about recruiting. So Nicholas Lemoyne, one offensive lineman should never happen. But here's the thing, man. Run through the scholarship offensive lineman right now. All right, you got your 5 starters, and then you got Cam Wire, and you got Charles Turner,
Anthony Bradford,
Cardell Thomas, the 2 freshmen,
Marlon Martinez,
Xavier Hill,
and Doomerville.
Marcus
Doomerville. You got 3 true freshmen that could be pretty good in Martinez, Doomerville, and Hill.
Okay, but here's my point. You've got, right now, 12 scholarship offensive linemen. Your numbers aren't bad. You've got 12. You got 12 scholarship offensive linemen.
Evaluation.
It's not like you don't have bodies. You're either evaluating players poorly or you're not developing them or some combination of the two. So, like, the fact that you've only got one, like, Jordy, if you only get 2 offensive linemen in this class, like, it's – no, I understand your point, but, like, if you're just looking at numbers, okay. Like, you get Dellinger and Tristan Lee, you got your bookend tackles. Well, last year you signed Martinez and Xavier Hill, and then you got Bradford and Thomas on top of that, and Turner's your center of the future. Like, I get it how they think they've shaped it, but if these cats can't play, you're fucked. But you've got – like, so I guess my point is, like, the people saying,
Did you mention Thomas Perry? He's out.
No, we didn't mention Perry.
Yeah.
But like, that's so 13 to 13 scholarship offensive linemen. You've got numbers. They've just either missed on their evaluation or, well, I know, and they just haven't developed guys. Like, why isn't Charles Turner ready? You know what I mean? Like, IMG, he's your center. He's the guy you recruited to be the center. And year 2, he's not ready? I mean,
Coach, not only is he not ready, you don't hear his name. You know what I mean? Like, these guys.
Because he's 270 pounds.
These guys have come in as four-star recruits, and they have become extinct. Like, people.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that guy's asking about Cardell Thomas.
Yeah,
how many times throughout the week on your show did you get asked about Cardell Thomas? I mean, the deal on Cardell Thomas is they don't think he's ready. They don't trust him. He didn't rehabilitate his ankle the correct way. They don't think that he's got good leverage. He can't bend.
He's top heavy.
I mean, the things
you
don't want in an offensive lineman, they say he has those traits. Okay, but isn't that what he was at Southern Lab?
Yeah.
You know, like that's
But he was a 330-pound kid pushing around a 180-pound defensive lineman.
1A.
And then you go, you know, then you start going to camps and you're getting owned by the best players, and that's why his star rating dropped. I mean, it's what it is. It's what it is. I mean, it's okay, but at some point you got to be ready to go, and none of these guys are ready to go right now, bro. Let's see, Jeremy James. I dare you to block someone, Rosenthal. Like, he's so bad, dude. He's not a. I get so many comments I haven't gotten to yet. Josh Johnson, Rick Kelly, Preston Landry. What's up, y'all? Captain Pancake, more like Captain Muffin Top. It's what he is, man. Just look at how he's built. It's what it is. All right, a couple YouTube comments. Let's see. Oh, you know what, though? One more thing. One thing I'll tell you I was happy to see tonight is taking Stingley off of punt returns. Mm-hmm. And
did they put him back there late?
No. Well, I didn't see it late if they did. But I said this all in the offseason, and I said it last year. And it finally bit him in the ass against Arkansas when he got hurt on the punt return. I don't need the best cover corner in America having his ankles and his ACLs at risk, exposed from someone who goes low or pops him late. Or punt return is the most dangerous play on the field because you're looking up at the ball and you're exposed. And I don't need Derek Stingley there. There are so many guys who are freakishly athletic, competent enough to catch a ball, make a guy miss and run. Are they Derek Stingley? No. No, they're not. But I don't need him back there exposing himself. And I was so glad to see them take – and maybe it took him getting dinged for them to realize, you know, let's pull him back from there. I hate that it had to happen that way, but I don't need him there. That's what people always say, man, what about Stingley on offense? I don't want Derek Stingley on offense.
Right. Well,
Fuck that.
Who do you take off?
You've got
you
five-star
recruited these guys. What are you going to tell Coy Moore?
Yeah, you have five-star receivers that you can't get the ball to, and you're going to now take reps away from them to give them to Derek Stingley?
I agree.
Let him go be the best defensive back in
football. And let me tell you something. If you lose Stingley on a jet sweep, bro, that's a fireable offense. That's a fireable offense.
Bro. Let's see. No Chris Curry tonight.
I think Chris Curry's out of the rotation. I mean,
Joey Canale.
We hadn't seen him in a while. I mean, it's and Emery doesn't look.
He had 3 carries last week.
He doesn't look dialed in. I mean, he doesn't.
Emery doesn't look dialed in.
What do you have tonight? Let's see. I mean, the rushing totals are embarrassing for LSU. John Emery had 4 carries tonight, 13 yards. They had a total of 36 rushing yards. I mean, like, that is a huge indictment on the offensive line. And
on a night when you can't pass block, when the majority of the game it's a 1 or 2 score game,
25 carries.
and you can't run the football.
25 carries, 36 yards.
What a shitty night.
Dude,
I was actually hoping that it was going to be nice. We could have fucking lit that fire pit, dude. That'd been awesome.
I thought so too. I was thinking that it was going to have a little retro feel. It is good to be back in the old quarters, though.
Yeah.
Over here at the Moscona.
Casa de Scone.
Casa Moscona.
Casa de Scone. Here we go. Let's see what else we got. 36 yards rushing on how many carries?
25.
25
carries.
So you average 1.5 yards a carry?
Yeah, about 1.2. 1.3 yards
Fucking
a carry.
brutal, bro. Brutal.
All right, good to see everybody tweeting in. Thanks, everybody. A lot of people with the hashtag Get the Bag.
Are they really?
Yes.
Yes.
Good to see everybody. Chantel LaRussa.
Yeah.
Strong Side Sports and Collectibles. Texas Tiger 89. LSU Dixon is writing in to Twitter as well. There's Jimmy Ferguson.
What's up, Jimmy
from
Perg?
Citizens Bank and Trust.
Citizens Bank and Trust, y'all.
We
Shout
got,
out. They're
we got
tagged in the Facebook post. Go like their page.
We got Andy Crawford. I want the bag, boy. Tweeting in. Chris Rabelais watching from Lafayette. You dudes are spot on, especially about the pansy ass governor.
Fuck him, man.
Appreciate everybody watching and interacting with us tonight. Remember, we do have the bag that we're going to give away here. Get the bag is the hashtag from our friends over at Citizens Bank and Trust. David Richardson, builder and real estate agent. Don Juan Cigar Bar. Hopefully, we'll be back at Don Juan's next Saturday night. It'll be a late whiskey and wine with a 7 o'clock kickoff on CBS.
Oh, bro, we'll start at 2 a.m.
It'll be 1 a.m. before we get on the air. Hannah Griff, we'll pass the baton to Hannah Griff and T-Bob probably at about 2:30 in the morning on Sunday. So it has been made official. LSU will play Bama next Saturday night in Tiger Stadium, and it'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff on CBS. So
remember Jordan Faircloth who pitched at LSU?
Hell yeah, bro. Ancient athlete, legend.
He tweeted me and he goes, can we get a super spreader next week?
Yeah, dude. I mean,
by the way, someone, I don't know who, forgive me, someone just mentioned it. I don't know who it was.
I don't know if that wasn't the strategy the first time.
But somebody just mentioned 25 carries tonight, 10 of them are quarterbacks.
Uh-huh.
Max Johnson had 8 carries for -4. Finley, 2 for 9 yards. Keep in mind, though, that sacks count against rushing totals, which are fucking stupid.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, you threw the ball tonight 47 times. You ran it 25. It's out of whack.
Yeah.
It's just out of whack.
No balance.
It's out of balance, man.
No balance.
You've got it.
Because you don't trust. They don't trust anything up front.
But that's where I'll say, man, then you got to find a creative way to run the football. And I don't know what that is. I'm not the fucking coach. I'm not out here ski. But you've got to find a way to be able to run the football to maintain some semblance of balance. Because if all you're doing is what they did tonight, which was drop back and fucking throw the fuck ton, the defense knows. They pin their ears back and they kill you. And the quarterbacks tonight, neither was exceptional. Johnson was 14 of 22 for 113 and a score. Finley was 9 of 25 for 118. He had 2 picks. One off a deflection, and one was the pick six.
Burrow could have been back there tonight. It doesn't matter, man. I mean, when you don't have time to throw, when you don't have guys that are running routes the right way, they don't have. They're not organized. They don't have a clear plan. Nobody really trusts each other. The offensive line doesn't trust the guy next to him. I mean, it's a breakdown. Things that you notice on bad football teams, LSU has. You know what I mean? Like things like the things that we brought up earlier, the timeouts out of dead ball possessions. That's 2 weeks in a row that's happened. That happens to bad football teams. I mean, offensive line breakdowns consecutive weeks in a row, or been the majority of the time that you've been on the field. That happens to bad football teams. I mean, quarterback play, inconsistent. not being able to run the football, defensively, going through streams where you can't tackle, you can't guard. Then one night you come in, you show up, and you can do that. I mean, that happens to inconsistent, bad football teams. And I think at the end of it, I asked you after the Missouri game on Whiskey and Wine or sometime early in the season, Scone, are they just bad? Are they just a bad team?
Yeah.
And I think we have to just realize
Of course they're a bad team.
they're just shitty.
They've beaten Vanderbilt.
They're just a shitty team.
They beat Vanderbilt, who might be the worst team in the history of the SEC. They beat South Carolina, who fired their coach. And they beat Arkansas, which is
their best win.
Their best win, but Arkansas ain't good either.
I know.
I mean, my hope, Jordy, honestly, for this team was one thing I know that's just indisputable is every season the team is going to play its best game and its worst game. And I think we saw LSU's worst game, either Mississippi State or Auburn flip a coin. I was hoping we hadn't seen their best game yet. And my hope was LSU would play its best game on a day where one of their marquee opponents didn't play well. And today was probably that opportunity. Defensively, LSU played really well. A&M, Kellen Mond was shit tonight. What did Kellen Mond finish?
109 yards in the air.
Kellen Mond tonight was 11 of 34. Bro, 11 of 34
elementary numbers
for 105. That is bro, you know what that is? That's like Jordan Jefferson 2009 is what that is.
Average 3 yards per pass.
That's Anthony Jennings. You know what I mean? That's dog shit. It's dog shit. But 11 of 34 for 105.
For the winning quarterback.
For the winning quarterback. Like, this is a night where you'd look at that normally and think, all right, man, if LSU could have been offensively tonight what they were against South Carolina, where Finley had confidence, swag, where they had it going, the running game was going, the pass game was going, maybe you play your best game when your opponent isn't playing well, and then you have that kind of night, right? But that ain't – it just – you went and played a shitty game tonight. Maybe they play their best. Maybe their best game of the year was against South Carolina. But, I thought and hoped maybe tonight or it ain't going to happen next week. Maybe against Florida you can rise up and play your best game. I think they might have a chance to beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss ain't a great team.
Bama will not allow them to play their best game next week.
No, next week they'll get shut out next week. Bama will –
they might hang. They might put –
Nick doesn't do it, though, man. Nick's too smart, and he knows. Right. Look, man, a couple of years ago in Baton Rouge, 2018, that 29-0 game, you know what I mean? Like, that could have been a bajillion of nothing if you wanted it to be. It just, Nick's too smart to do that. Nick's too smart to go run up a score. He unless if it's Kentucky, because he knows he can. It don't fucking matter.
Sure.
But he's too smart. He knows better. For the same reason what just happened to LSU, man. Like a year ago, LSU should have put 100 on A&M last year. They should have, because you're not going to get another chance to do it anytime soon. You should have done it. Taking the air out of the ball in the second half. I wish they would have scored 100.
Shout out to Don Juan Cigar Bar, David Richardson, real estate agent and contractor. Remember, everything is tied to the Facebook post. Make sure and give them a follow and like, share there. If you are looking for properties over at Willow Grove Settlement over there on Perkins Road, get in touch with David Richardson and, of course, Jim Ferguson and the good people over at Citizens Bank and Trust, one of the longest-lasting banks in our community throughout South Louisiana. They originated in Plaquemine. They've got locations here in Baton Rouge and in South Louisiana, and we've got a great giveaway here with your interaction.
Give me the bag.
On Whiskey and
Get
Wine.
the bag. Get the bag. Raphael Curtis, yes, Saban does do that kind of stuff. He doesn't. Nick doesn't run up scores.
You're right.
Like,
no, you're right.
Think about the number of times he's been up on a team 35-0 at half, and they win 42-7. It's what they do. Sam Bacon, Bama's been waiting for payback. You know what, dude? The other thing too is after that game, LSU's players last year run into the recruits, and we sat here, dude, and talked about it, man. Yeah, as much
it wasn't play. It was Marcel Brooks. He was transferred out.
Oh, but we loved it though when they did it, man.
It was awesome.
Loved it when they did it.
It was awesome.
Chiquita Amos, woohoo, 4-6 at worst 3-7. Let's talk big picture here. Matt Irby, Glenn Clark, what up, y'all? Um, Sam Bay. A lot of people right now are talking about Scott Woodward watching this closely and looking big picture. Like, some people I think nationally are probably looking at this and going, "Man, LSU wins a fucking national championship last year in the most dominant season ever, and a half a season later they want to run the guy out of town." But is that justified conversation?
I don't think that moving the head coach at this point is a realistic conversation. I think that Scott Woodward, as the athletic director, has had some things come across his desk over the last 3 weeks to a month where I don't think anybody is safe. And I'm not talking about the production on the field. I just think that from an athletic department standpoint,
You mean with all the
USA Today stuff,
allegations?
all the allegations, everything that's going on around the athletic department. I think that it's so grimy, and it's so systemic, where you look and say, I don't know who's off limits or who is safe in this evaluation or through this process, because I don't know. I just think that it's an animal that we don't know yet how big and how nasty it could get. And Scott Woodward's really, he's the decision maker on it. He's one of the figures that has been brought in. And I think that if he doesn't make a move, it will taint his time at LSU. So he's going to have to make some move in the sense.
Good. I can hear you. You're good.
And I don't think that Ogeron's head is on the chopping block, but I do think that the optics of the LSU football program mean a lot to Scott Woodward in the sense of what he tries to accomplish around that program. Scott Woodward's very politically tied. He very much gives LSU an advantage up at the Capitol. That is what his strong suit is. That has been his strong suit since he's been at LSU.
Hey, remember when Woodward was here the first time?
He was the lobbyist.
He was not an athletic department. He was Mark Emmert's number. Like, he was in the role Verge is in now, like the conduit for Emmert to the athletic department. Like, and he's definitely more tied into that angle than athletics.
So I think that the evaluation of the entire athletic department is in the problem. I mean, I think that's happening right now. I think the head coach is safe. I think the head coach is safe because of what he's accomplished and the program that he is seeking to build.
Hey, bro.
But
if that fucking investigation comes back and they found that Ogeron was part of a cover-up of rape on campus, you're talking about some legitimate Baylor Art Browse level shit.
That's what I'm saying.
And Ogeron's not safe from that. Nobody's safe from that.
That's what I just explained.
If
nobody
that comes back.
is safe. Nobody is safe. I mean, because if that stuff turns up, where that was the case, well, 15-0 national championship really doesn't have the clout that it has at negotiating tables when it comes to circumstances like that. And it just doesn't. That dog don't hunt. And I think Scott Woodward's going to have to. He's the one that's going to be tasked with making some really, really hard, expensive decisions.
Well, you say expensive, but
That could be calls.
fuck yeah, that's. Are you kidding me?
No doubt.
Fired for cause? Fuck.
No doubt.
That kind of shit?
Yeah.
Like, dude, and listen, I'm sitting here talking to you as a guy that went to LSU that loves university, all right? I don't give money to Taft. I don't give money to LSU athletics. I give money to the Manship School. I give money to LSU, to the Alumni Association, because I love my alma mater. And it would be a total conflict for me to give money to athletics. So I don't. But I love my university. And if you had people from university administrators through compliance to the athletic department,
at the police department,
all that shit, if you're covering rape and sexual assault and we'll see how it all transpires. I don't know. Like, right. I've had off the record conversations with people on the other side, like on the LSU side, that have very compelling arguments why they're justified in how everything was handled.
We've got some people asking just for clarification on what's going on. USA Today published an article on the LSU athletic department over a week and a half ago
claiming that there is rape cover-up and sexual abuse cover-up and that it involved up to 9 LSU football players. Now, LSU has shown that they disciplined 2 of those players and 2 of the most severe players in that article, but there's questions. There is definitely a cause of, look, LSU hired an independent auditor to come in and investigate their entire university because it didn't just touch the athletic program, it touched the university side where a Greek student was charged with sexual assault, and 2 years later he was in the same classroom that the victim was in. So this is a university-wide investigation that is coming, and from what has been reported, the facts and those findings will come out in February, and I think the decisions will be made ultimately on where everyone stands in the sense of, the job status. I think that there are a lot of people that are paying attention to this that are very nervous in the sense of what's going to be the fallout.
So, look, I know we're going way down.
We took a left.
We took a left turn here. I mean, I know this is post game, but the question was about big picture with the program, and the big picture with the program is, and I'll keep saying this, man. For anyone who says this is Gene Chizik 2.0, the biggest difference, and I'm going to keep hammering this, bro. The biggest difference between LSU today,
talent, huh?
Bro, Gene Chizik's Auburn, they win the national title with Cam, fucking cheat code on offense and defense with Fairley. The next 2 years, Auburn had a total combined in the next 2 drafts of 2 players picked. They had an offensive lineman and then Corey Lemonier. With in the next 2 years combined, they had a 4th and a 5th round pick total. That was it. Like, this LSU team, like this spring, they're going to have 10 guys picked.
Yeah.
Like, they've got talent. And then you just put together a consensus top 5 class, and the one coming up now is potentially the number 1 class. That's the biggest difference, is Ogeron has still been recruiting his ass off. So if he can fix his staff and get player buy-in again. See, the thing we've learned, Jordy, about this, and we knew this in the beginning with O, is when they went this route, it was always, Ed can be the CEO, and he can hire great coordinators, and you can delegate, right, and recruit. He can recruit, be the energy guy, hire great coordinators. The problem is when you make shitty hires, this is what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you make good hires, and it's last year. You have an elite-level roster with great coaches, and you have the greatest season ever, you know? So I'm curious to see what Ed does with his staff this offseason. Does he retain Pelini? Would you have a feeling on that? Does Bo Pelini get retained? Is he coaching for his job the next 3 games?
Absolutely. I think he's coaching for his job. If he can put together 3 performances like this, he can get buy-in like this, I think he keeps it because of the financial impact of having to move him.
Man, I would argue the contrary, man, is the financial impact of keeping him and losing is far greater. You get a disengaged fan base, far greater impact than paying him, $4 million buyout.
I see I see and hear your argument. You have to understand, to pick up the phone and make that call for Ogeron after he asked for $3 million from a private investor 2 years ago to ask for $7 million, that burns up a lot of national championship clout.
Yep.
And if you can get production out of Pelini with this price tag like you got tonight,
yeah.
I mean, that defense looked like they were bought in, looked like they had a plan. They were playing physical.
Yeah.
They were flying to the ball. They were covering on the back end. If you can get that from him, I think he stays. But I absolutely think that his job is in jeopardy, along with other people. I mean, I think that you could see a mass turnover from a coaching staff standpoint.
What about Ensminger?
Yeah, I think he's on. I think he's. But
or is it Linehan?
I would also argue that Ensminger might be done, in the sense of, we knew when he took the offensive coordinator job a couple of years ago that it wasn't, I don't want to use the term stopgap because that's unfair,
but it was going to be a bridge for Orgeron. It really felt like it was going to be a bridge for Orgeron to put Brady in place. But
Yeah.
now it feels like it may be Russ Callaway that could be that young mind. Now, do they fast-track him to become the offensive coordinator next year because Ensminger may say, you know what, guys, this is the time where I want to step back? I think that Ensminger has the luxury to make that decision. I do think that Linehan, somebody's going to have to explain to me, what are you getting for that $800,000?
Yeah.
What is he giving you? It was clear and cut what Joe Brady was giving you in that role last season, right? I mean, forget the excess of what they accomplished, but it was clearly defined on what his role and responsibility was each and every week in preparation on game day. I don't know what Scott Linehan's is, because when I heard it was red zone and third down, that was a part that they were struggling on so mightily early on in the year. I don't know if he had those duties stripped away from him. You know, I mean, where it was because it was suffering so bad. I mean, I think that the Missouri game at the end is the highlight. But I mean, there's so many other examples. Like, I mean, like what they didn't get a third. They didn't convert a third down against Auburn. You know, I mean, like they just. What are you getting for that investment?
Here's my problem, man. And somebody just it was Paul Kellogg. Coach O needs the one, stop hiring buddies. 2, quit hiring retreads from early 2000 USC. Quit being lazy. Go out and hire real assistant coaches who are the best at their craft. The thing that's so perplexing to me about the Linehan hire is you just did something that worked. Joe Brady won the goddamn Broyles Award as the best assistant in college football. Now, I think that was probably a little too much praise. Probably got more credit than he deserved. But bringing in a young, forward-thinking passing game coordinator,
that's
worked.
The formula.
You went think about who did Joe Brady replace?
He replaced Jerry Sullivan.
Jerry Sullivan.
Jerry Sullivan.
75-year-old geriatric Jerry Sullivan. All right? And I know we fucking laughed at all that shit with Terrio on air. Nobody ever takes me seriously when I talk about this because of it. But my point then is what it is now. Whenever Orgeron promoted Ensminger and Sullivan, that was your problem. I had no problem with one, but both was a problem. And after 1 year, it was like, yeah, Jerry, yeah. Like they fucking stopped. They fucking stopped letting Jerry Sullivan be on the sideline. They sent him up to the boots. Hey, man, just like go up and like by the end of that season, and then they brought in a young, forward-thinking offensive mind. Okay, that it works. That guy goes to the league. What do? Scott Linehan? Right. That's your guy? Why wouldn't Russ Callaway? People would have embraced it because it's basically what you'd just done with fucking Brady.
Really, the move was
more Munoz.
George Munoz.
Why didn't that happen?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why it didn't happen, and I think that there's people asking the same thing because if you watch Baylor play, Baylor's shit. They're terrible. But if you look at their organization on offense and what they're trying to do, they're trying to do exactly what LSU did last year.
They just don't have
players. They just don't have a play. They don't have They don't have a quarterback. They don't have the players around. They don't have. But they're implementing.
Brewer.
They're implementing that, while LSU has regressed.
No doubt. LSU also has 2 freshman quarterbacks.
Sure, but they've lost that identity where they had a great opportunity to establish themselves as that offensively.
Yeah.
That could have been who they are, and now you're back in no man's land where you're really trying to figure out who you want to be. Who are you going to recruit? What style do you want to? What's the passing game coordinator position going to look like next year? What's the OC going to look like next year? I mean, it's just. That to me is a dangerous land for a college football program, and specifically one side of the ball is when you don't have an idea, you don't know who you are.
No.
Because I mean, think about it. That's who LSU was for a decade on offense. They would recruit for every Jared Lee they would recruit. They recruited Jordan Jefferson. You know what I mean? It was like who. Remember, what was the cat's name from Tupelo? Chris Garrett. That they brought in. I mean, in the same class that they brought Russell Shepard in.
Shepard, yeah.
It's like, what? What do you want to be?
Yeah.
Who are you? And I think that they're kind of trending back to that
Stephen
direction.
Rivers.
Yes, exactly.
Stephen Rivers and Anthony Jennings and Brandon Harris. It's like, what are you? And no doubt. Tony J on YouTube said, guys, will we see new coordinators or are we stuck with these two jabronis? Like, I'll say this. I don't mind at all Steve Ensminger as the OC. I don't. I think Steve Ensminger knows offense. I think he can call a game. I have no problem with that at all. I don't. I don't think Steve Ensminger is the problem. When I watched the game tonight, I didn't look at this game and think, man, the offensive game plan was just shit. I looked at this and was like, you can't protect anybody. Mm-hmm. Like, I have no idea what they were trying. I literally was watching this game and I was like, I have no idea what they are trying to accomplish offensively, because every time TJ Finley or Max Johnson drops back, he's got someone in maroon eating his asshole with a spoon. I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know what I'm watching. You know what I mean? I'm serious, though. Like none, they were fucked all night. It just didn't matter.
Yum yum sauce.
Dude, it just didn't matter, bro. Like, it didn't matter what you called because nothing could be executed. So I don't think that's the problem, but I do think, and this is my point, and I know we're short on time here. And if you're on YouTube, by the way, they might kick us off because hey, whoever's back in studio who's about to put Eagle on YouTube or run, I think they can run two streams simultaneously actually. So I ain't fucking going anywhere yet. We'll wrap it up in a minute, but anyway, what the fuck was I saying? Somebody eating an asshole with a spoon.
Yeah, the offensive line doesn't matter.
Oh no! Here you go. All right. If you go three, you like that, right? If you go 3-7,
yeah,
there is no way. I don't give a shit, COVID or whatever. If you go 3-7, there is no way that you could justify or sell to any fan base ever that no changes need to be made, right? You can't say,
right,
hey, we're going to stick with the status quo because we think this is going to work.
The engine's good.
You can't. No fucking way. There's no way you're going to go. You're going to go next week and get your ass kicked by Alabama. Uh-huh. Then you go to Gainesville, and old boy's going to throw for 5 touchdowns on you. And then you're probably going to lose to Ole Miss because no one's going to give a fuck. And you're going to finish 3-7. And I don't know how you can go 3-7 and look at your fan base and say, hey, our $7 million coach and our $2 million offensive coordinator, like, we're just going to roll with this because we think this is the plan. So to the question from Tony J, I'm sure it's on his birth certificate. Like, I don't think, Tony, that's going to fly.
I mean, you have to make a move. I mean, yeah, you have to, by the pure sense of what you're trying to sell. You know, you're trying to sell a NFL-style program when it looks like it's dysfunction. You know, I mean, I've already heard that they're being recruited of giving 4 days off within successive bye weeks. You know, like he gives them 4 days off in the middle of losing streaks.
Coaches?
Yeah. Coaches, you know, I mean, recruiting them in the sense of.
Listen, man, here's the dirty little secret nobody's really talking about. Pelini is the first one out of the building. Not in, out. He's the first one out after practice.
Last one in.
Last one in, first one out.
I mean, that's what rubs the head coach a little wrong, is that for an 8 o'clock meeting, 7:50, 9:50, coming flying over those train tracks on Skip Burtman Drive. Yeah, is the defensive coordinator.
No doubt. Pelini is the least engaged. And true, like, real talk, Ogeron ain't burning the candle at both ends this year like he did. I mean, I think that you have a lot of complacency, and I think there has to be some, like, legit soul-searching. I mean, you were lucky, Jordy, and all of you fine folks. A year ago, you beat A&M 50-7. What was the line on that game a year ago?
Whew.
I don't remember.
Well, the Arkansas game was 42 and a half.
Was 42 and a half, right? You're a 42.
And they were +1 this year.
And this was
in
a
kickoff.
virtual pick'em. A&M, you beat 50-7 a year ago, and now you were a 16-point dog. Like, you don't see 60-point swings year to year. You just don't. And the thing that I'll say that if you're an LSU fan, which I'm guessing you are if you're watching, some people will say, well, it's never going to – and it's never going to be as good as it was last year. That's fine. I'm not saying it has to be. But the expectation for this fan base is to be what Clemson is and what Bama is and what Ohio State is, and it fucking should be. Like, you've proven you can be it. You've got the resources, you've got the recruiting, you've got the talent, you've got the buy-in, you've got the salary, the coaches, the facilities, every fucking thing.
Everything.
And to do this, these fucking ebbs and flows, and for Ogeron to sit there over and over and keep referencing 2017 and losing Troy, fuck that, man. Fuck that. I'm so sick of hearing these references to 2017. You know what? You were supposed to build from there to the championship season so that way you don't go back there. Like, you've reached this championship level, and no one was expecting 15-0 and the greatest fucking season ever again this year. But this bullshit, this 3-7, losing to Mississippi State, losing at fucking Missouri, getting your ass kicked at Auburn, needing a bullshit score with a minute left against A&M to avoid a shutout, that's fucking bullshit, man. Like, you have got to be able to establish. Like, I just don't know that he knows how to maintain a winning culture. Like, because he's never done it. Like, will he get back there? Maybe, but I don't think LSU wants to wait. Fans don't want to wait 3 more years. Do we want to wait through 3 more years of a build? Like, is this what's going to happen? Fuck that, man. No, yes, like. You're going to lose next week. You get your ass kicked next week. You're going to lose in Florida. You might beat Ole Miss. Maybe you'll probably lose that. You go 3-7 or 4-6 either way. That's not acceptable, and yes, heads need to roll.
Amen. I don't know if I can say any better than that. I mean, I think that's spot on. We're 94 minutes in.
Yeah, we're done. Who won, Tyson or Jones?
Looks like Tyson won.
Is that a draw? Someone say it's a draw?
Was it a draw? Man, I'd be pissed if it was a draw.
Brenton Day, blame Bruce Feldman.
Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones is a draw.
No.
So Drew Boogie just said inside of the
What's up, Drew Boogie? Chris Rabelais, 2 words, fuck that. All right.
A draw.
Did it end the draw?
A draw.
Did it really end the draw?
I mean, I've seen a couple of comments saying
Look on Twitter. Twitter will have it. Hang on, I got it. Let's see. Tyson.
Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. Here we go.
Did this shit end the draw? No way. Holy shit. Holy shit. The WBC scored at a draw. What a fucking cock tease. Are you kidding me? That is like a fucking cock tease, man. Are you kidding me? A draw?
Ugh. How much was that fight?
I don't know, but I wasn't stupid enough to buy it.
Thank God.
After I spent the money on Mayweather Pacquiao, I watched 2 40-year-olds pillow fight. No thanks. I'm done.
You playing quarterback for the Broncos tomorrow?
Huh?
You playing quarterback for the Broncos tomorrow?
Are they going to play this game?
I guess.
Well, what's the latest in this shit? Are they going to play this game?
Jerry Jeudy at quarterback tomorrow.
Is he even playing?
I don't know, man.
Broncos. Can you imagine being Sean Payton, getting off that plane and finding out, hey. Dude, did you see the Broncos tweet?
It was a draw.
You see the Broncos tweet about 2 hours? Hey, Nuggets, is Jokic available? Asking for a friend. That's a really good tweet. That's fucking great.
Dude, I wish that Jameis would play for the Broncos. I just want to see it.
The game?
Yeah, I would just like to see him play a full game.
See Jameis play full game? Yeah.
Hey, you want to take Jameis for the game tomorrow?
Hey, man, you know how I feel about Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I do.
But everybody just said, like, here's the problem, bro. Fans want to believe, like, that the good story white kid from Idaho who, was the jack of all trades guy could be like that guy will never be a quarterback. Like he's just never gonna. I mean, come on.
He get hurt.
Great athlete, but give me a break, dude.
Running around out there
like
that.
And people are like, oh, look at his great debut. Was it like through the first half he was 6 of 10 for 60 yards, and until his deep ball, which looked like a fucking punt at a Our Lady of Mercy game. Come on, bro. What are we doing? Taysom Hill. I love Taysom Hill in his little gadget role.
Right. Yeah, not Taysom Hill, the starter.
Give me a break. All right, are we done? All right, shout out Don Juan Cigar Bar. Thank you so much to Don Juan. Sorry we couldn't be there today, man. But, fuck. Phase 2. Stupidest shit in the world. Like, my experience last week with COVID only validated to me what I've been bitching about for 10 months. Like, my kid who's got congenital heart disease, fucking pulmonary insufficiency, didn't have a single symptom. Not one. Not a single goddamn symptom. Like, rolling around like a 6-year-old freight train. I mean, we know who this affects. Like, protect old people and people that are sick and obese that are affected by this. Let the rest of the world go back to fucking living, man. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing, man?
College football, man. College basketball.
You know what's the biggest piece of shit? I'm sitting there watching fucking football today. I'm in studio watching, we're doing a pregame, and I'm watching Bama, the game ends. And, like, fucking Mac Jones runs on the field after the game, and he's got the fucking surgical mask on. And I'm like, so this dude is just out here for 3 hours, or it's a CBS game. So this dude's just out here for 4.5 hours. 5 hours. He's grunting, spitting, sweating, bleeding, falling, whatever. But then as soon as the game ends, he's going to go dap somebody up. He's got to put a fucking mask on. Fucking bullshit, dude. What a crock of fucking bullshit.
Sconey, my man. Love you, bro.
Love you, too. Love all of you. Thank you for watching.
David
we love
Richardson.
You. Citizens Bank, Don Juan. All of our sponsors are tagged in the Facebook post. Please like their page. Let them know you appreciate them for sponsoring Whiskey and Wine. And we love you all for hanging out.
Have a good night.
What do you mean, John Mechie? Get the fuck out of here. I hate you, guy who said that. I don't know who you are who said that, but I hate you. All right, see y'all later.